threats being made towards black people. Okay, we've seen threats being made towards HBCUs. We've seen a lot of that. Now, of course, we already know that we're the number one victims when it comes to hate crimes year round nationally, but especially when there's racial tension. Now, should there be racial tension when it comes to the situation with Charlie Kirk? Not really, considering the fact that the perpetrator was not black. Okay, which is something we all knew. We knew the person who did it to Charlie Kirk wasn't black. We knew that, okay? From day one, from the moment it happened, we knew that. But still, black people were being threatened. Still, HBCUs were being threatened. I spoke on this on YouTube. We have a case. Now, we've seen cases like this sporadically pop up throughout the year, but this case is very interesting in particular because this case comes right after all of the threats happening towards HBCUs and black students in particular. At those HBCUs, you see a situation, a hanging situation. I'm not going to say the word, but you see this of a young 21-year-old black male named Trey Reed at a school. Now, it wasn't an HBCU, but it was at a college school. All right. And now, immediately, the police officers, they deem this to be a self-inflicted situation. I got to choose my words very carefully. A self-inflicted situation. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I never believe it when they say that it's self-inflicted. I never believe that. Okay. Because that's just not how, if somebody was to go about it, that's not how they would go about it. Okay. Outside in a tree, that's not how they would go about it. Earlier today, I saw another video of another situation that similar to his, unaliving similar to his, over on an overpass. I forgot exactly which state this was. So now we're seeing these situations of what they call strange fruiting, right? BX strange fruiting pop out kind of all over the place, and there's no coincidence that this is happening with all of the racial tension with the wake of Charlie Kirk. Okay. So my thing is that when situations like this stuff happen, this sets the precedent and it shows the necessity of a specific black hate crime and black hate crime laws that need to be enforced, protections that need to be enforced, because if situations like this happen, if there was any type of racial or ethnic tension and other groups of people get targeted, let's say those people were Asian, let's say these people are some part of a religious belief, right? If those groups of people were mysteriously, let's say they went missing, if there was a racial situation and then all of a sudden Asian girls just start going missing, it would be red alert all over the place. They would sound the alarm. It would be bipartisan legislation on the table. There would be commercials. There would be breaks. There would be silence. There would be a lot of this stuff to bring awareness to the situation and the danger of towards the Asian community or towards other communities. And we see in particular communities of religious affiliations. All right. And yet you don't see this type of energy when it comes to black people. You see now there's racial tension for nothing to us, unwarranted to us, like it always is. You see a lot of this stuff, and now you don't see the media taking the same amount of care and showing the same amount of concern and urgency to end these situations. This is not a one-off situation. This is a situation that happened right after there have been deadly threats made towards HBCUs. There have been deadly threats made towards black students. And you have not seen this level of, you have not seen enough level of attention being brought up on this. All right. To be very honest, had it not been for social media in particular, you wouldn't really even hear about these situations. Okay. And he's not one. He's one of the ones that are being discussed the most, especially on TikTok, but you wouldn't even be hearing about this. All right. So I'm trying to say this to bring awareness to the fact that black hate crime laws are specifically needed, like they did when it came to the Asian community, when 2021 was around and they was talking about the pandemic, and they were saying that there was disproportionate amount of hate and vitriol towards the Asian community due to the pandemic. They were saying, okay, well, because of that, now they need specific crime bills, and they need specific laws and specific protections, all right, to where people can't even say anything that could lead to them being harmed or lead to them being targeted or villainized. Okay, so we need the same type of energy. All right, that's what we need. And I'm calling out the Democratic Party in particular because they were the main champion of making sure that that got done for the Asian community. And that gets done for other, because we're on TikTok, we got to be careful. That gets done for other religious communities. So this needs to be done especially so for the black community. All right. Especially for us. All right. Now, Zizi, do you have anything? I know you want to probably give a couple words about the situation.
Yeah, I definitely looked into this. I covered this a couple days ago too. It was egregious. A lot of suspicious things surrounding Trey Reed's case. I didn't look into the other brother. You said
It was, yeah, I just saw that like today. I literally just saw that today.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I heard about that. Okay, did that just happen today or?
I don't know if it just happened today. I just saw somebody make a video about it today.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send it to you though.
Okay, yeah, please, because I haven't heard about that. But yeah, this brother's case was is already off rip. Just from some of the details that has came out, looks very suspicious. Now, just like you said, anytime we see black people in unaliving voluntarily, should I say, it's automatically suspicious because that's not something common within our culture. But moreover, the way he did it again, that's moreover the symbolic, the history behind that specifically in Black America. It's something that a lot of us wouldn't choose to do. So antennas go up automatically whenever they say that, especially when they're so quick to brush it off as that, which they are trying to do. The police department is. It's a lot of lack of transparency. They got surveillance footage. They say they still reviewing it. I mean, it's a lot of things within this case. And it's just happened. That's already just looks very suspicious. So, I already think it's foul play besides everything else. But as far as, black hate crime bills, I do think, and Charlie Kirk, I do think this is all connected, to be honest. The timing is no coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. And I don't think them, again, we talked about this on the last live, white supremacists don't like taking L's. So, of course, they usually find a way to retaliate in some way, shape, or form. So this could be a way of retaliation for all we know. The fact that this happened back to back, I don't believe in coincidence. These people pay attention. These people are and everybody is connected. So I'm trying to tell you, white supremacists, whether you're on the left, right, down south, up north, these people know each other, so they can make things happen across the country when something else happens. So I mean, all I'm saying is not too far-fetched at all. But it does make it to the point that we absolutely need a hate crime bill. This is something that should have been done. Like you said, the Asians been had it, and I don't even know how the hell they got it that quick. But our history here is the most egregious from out of any other group in this country. Okay, so if anybody should have a hate crime bill specifically, we should have been had one, and I think it's very intentional that we don't have one because the people know that, and us not having one helps them keep them from holding themselves accountable or getting any sort of any sort of justice. So yeah, hate crime bill is past due at this point for sure.
Yes. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely correct. The next person had dropped down, so we're gonna get to Isaac Eyes.
What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. So I don't know so much about what happened to this guy. I know he was unalived. I don't know anything else about the case. I want to say that it's pretty sad. I mean, whether it was, whether he did it to himself, whether somebody did it to him, very sad. I just don't know anything about the case. But bro, to say black people being targeted, come on, man.
Where are your people? Have we spoke to Isaac before? Have we spoke before? Where are your people from? I don't remember.
Where am I?
Spoken before?
What do you mean, where are my people? We never spoke before.
Okay, well, yeah, I might be having you confused with somebody else then. All right then. Okay, so this is our first time speaking. So what we do in BX just kind of like set the decorum. So on this live stream, we ask for people's ethnicity because that gives us necessary context to where they're coming from and where their stances are on certain things. Because we recognize there's a pattern of thought and belief when depending on people's upbringing and their ethnicity. All
Well,
right,
of course, like that with everybody. But yeah, I'm white.
you're white.
But like I said myself, it's very sad what happened to this guy. I'm not, if a white person did it to him, screw that guy. Whatever it is. I just don't know anything about the case.
Okay, so if you don't know anything about the case, why you're jumping to defend and make it seem like we're reaching? Now let me ask you this:
So what?
let's say Isaac, let's say this case is completely self-inflicted. Let's say this case is completely self-inflicted. What about all of the other cases that we know for a fact are not self-inflicted? What about the Dylan Roofs and the Peyton Gendrons and stuff like that, and walking up into grocery stores in Buffalo or churches and what was it, South Carolina? What about that?
Okay,
Do
what
you
about
think
it?
that warrants a hate crime bill?
Well, I mean, every single race has racist people. So yeah, you could say a white person committed a hate crime. Sure, I'm not
No, no,
denying
no,
it.
no, no. A specific hate crime bill where the government specifically says we're going to allocate resources specifically for the protection of this group of people, the way they have done with Asians, the way they have done with other groups of religious groups of people. I'm just now noticing the flag that you're having. I'm
Going with the
just now
flag.
actually noticing that. So your group of people, I would assume, with the name Isaac, and then I see the flag in there. Okay, that's the Israel flag. So I just it is assumption is 1 and 2. So your group of people are very protected in this country. Okay,
Well, I mean,
very,
of
very,
course, well, they're
very,
going
very
through a
much
war.
so. Okay,
They're going through a war. Of course, they're protected.
no, prior to that, prior to the situation in Gaza, prior to that situation, I'm talking about years and years. If anything that is even said about y'all on a college campus that is deemed as anti-Semitic, that is condemned by both parties, there's legislation made for you all's specific protection. All right, you all are incredibly protected, and nobody argues that you guys are not protected enough, or you're too protected. Okay, nobody even makes that argument. Yet when it comes to other groups of people,
So what are you saying, that you're
hold
jealous of
on.
Israel?
Now I find this very interesting because, and I'm not saying that you're a spokesman of your community, but I find it kind of interesting that when it comes to other groups of people, someone from your community who is protected is coming up in retort of us saying that we need to be protected, and you're trying to rebuttal us claiming or us advocating for our own. If you can't come off your mic, brother, you gotta mute your mic as you're coming up. You're trying to rebuttal us claiming our protection or our demands for protection as your community is being protected. I find that very interesting.
Okay, you hear what happened to Irina on the bus? Like, bro, you're just naming me
That has not that first off, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about right
Is this
now.
a conversation with yourself, or is this a debate? Because I was 2 words in when you interrupted me.
We don't.
No, I'm asking you. First off, you never really answered about, do you feel that a hate crime bill, even if we disregard this situation, is necessary? You never gave a solid answer to that.
Yeah, because you didn't let me answer. Are you ready for
Okay,
my
I'm gonna let
answer?
you answer.
Okay, my answer is no.
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 Do you feel like your community deserves specific protections?
No.
No. So you would advocate against the protections that are already in place for your community.
I don't really care enough to, but sure, I guess so.
So do you think anybody deserves any type of protection under particular hate crimes and things?
Well, I mean, it really just depends on the statistics of how many black people are being unalived by white people and how many white people are being unalived by black people and this. And it really just depends on the statistics and the patterns. So if you see statistics and you see that there's a large group, and you know what, I'll even make the white people look bad in this example for you. Say you see
Say
white
YT. Say YT.
YT.
Hmm.
Say you see YT people committing a big percentage of crimes against BLK people, then yeah, you guys would need some protection, but you don't see that. And now I'm going to say it's vice versa. If you see a large population of BLK people harming YT people, then yeah, YT people would need protection. But I would say though that YT people could use more protection than BLK people because stuff does happen to us more often crime-wise.
Us. So
YT
you are
people.
YT.
That's laughable.
Yeah, I'm a white
You're
person.
YT. Okay. So are you a part of the Jewish community or not?
Am I a part? Yeah, I'm Jewish.
Okay. Well, thank you. Because I don't like the fact that y'all keep trying to make it seem like those are two separate things. So at least we got that far. All right. And actually, the statistics does bear it out. Do you know about the hate crime statistics? I'm sure. I'm sure you do, because black people are the number one victims of hate crimes nationally. Okay, and annually, year after year, by far, over double what your community faces.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this before, bro. 13%,
No,
50%
no,
of
no, no,
crime.
no. Answer. Let's talk about the hate crimes, because what the whole 13 and 15 and all that stuff. A lot of that is inter-community stuff. I'm talking about hate crimes, things that are done specifically because of hate. The motive is hate. So if the motive of hate crimes, most of them are done because of anti-blackness, do you not think that that deserves a level of recognition and protection, huh?
No, because there's a lot of black on black crime, and also, well, not so much my answer. There's a lot of black on black crime.
There's a lot of everybody on everybody crime.
Sure, but there is
No, no,
a
not
much
not sure,
bigger.
but no, not sure, but everybody on everybody crime. There's a lot of everybody on everybody crime.
Okay, cool.
Why are
There
you
you go. You
pathologizing?
answered your own question. No one needs protection. We're all safe.
So okay, nobody needs protection. All right, well
Nah, we're
you
all
said
safe,
what you
bro.
had to say about it, and that's that. I find it very interesting that his community in particular gets the most protection out of any community in this country. All right, by far, his community gets protected not only from actual crimes and resources being allocated for their protection. His community gets protected from ridicule, quite literally. His community gets protected from criticism. Yet if you criticize them at all, not even their faith, if you criticize their nation whatsoever, okay, they will deem that as anti-Semitic. All right. And you can face punishment for ridiculing his community. And while we're talking about advocating for protection of our community, he wants to come up and rebuttal that. He wants to come up and refute the protections necessary for our community, bringing up some, well, 13%, 13% of the population, 50% of the crime. Oh, wow. Okay.
Which
I
they
think
know
that's
is
very
bullshit.
telling.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. Dude. Got a couple more people want to come up. Y'all tap the screen. Tap the screen. We live already. We got a lot of people in here. We got a lot of people in here. But let's get to. Hold on, brother. I can't even really understand what you're saying. Your microphone is kind of janky, brother. But it's all right. It's all right. So we're gonna get to Mike Redding.
Hi, host. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad. So clearly, the Black American community is
Where
being
are you from? Where are
targeted.
you from? What's
Um,
your ethnicity, sir?
oh right. African, black, and I'm originally from Somalia.
Okay.
So clearly, the Black American community is being targeted. The Black American community expresses this. They feel this, and every other statistical study and survey that you can ever get clearly indicates this. I mean, you'd have to be blind or stupid not to realize this. And so clearly, a specific hate law bill is required way past due for the Black American community. If, as you said, the Jewish community can receive an anti-Semitic hate hate law crime bill, and if the Asian community after the coronavirus incident could receive like an anti-Asian hate crime bill, I don't see why the Black American community that has been suffering since the time of slavery and Jim Crow, and and that is currently suffering right now, can't actually receive this. So basically, it is absolutely sickening that the likes of, say, the Democrats, who the Black American community constantly vote for, haven't come through for them as such. Biden hasn't come through for them. Clinton hasn't come through for them. Nobody actually has helped them out after all the support that they've given. So yeah, it's way past due.
All right, that's correct. Thank you very much for that. BX, I thought, did you want to say something? I thought you said something real quick, or no?
When I said that it was whitey people that needed protection the most, and I'm like, people that went around colonizing, G-siding, and all these other things, and they're the least population globally, correct? Like they're outnumbered globally. Um, yeah, they need a lot of protecting.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. Let me ask you, who do you think they need protection from? Let's look at Charlie Cook.
Themselves.
Let's look at
That's who they need.
who do they need protection from? Let's talk about it.
Themselves.
They don't want to be honest about that.
Hmm. They need protection from themselves. Um, so my thing is, and then what I noticed, right, is there's a lot of other white tea people, no matter what their ethnic group, they're all now trying to say that the Jewish were the ones who had a hand in slavery, like they really honing in on it, like they used to do with the Africans, right? So we do know that they did finance and stuff like that, but I think that the other Europeans are really trying to throw them under the bus, and I don't want to take up for them, right? But I'm just wondering what's going on with that? Like, why this sudden shift that now they're trying to say it was the Jewish? They ain't never said nothing like that before. Like, what are they up to? Do they really feel that reparations is possible, and they really think it's going to come out of something they own? So they're trying to throw them the other people under the bus. Like, it's just really weird, the things that I'm starting to notice, like the patterns in different ethnic groups. And with the white tea, they're sort of trying to say the Jewish had a hand, the biggest hand in enslavement, as if that
Well, they're trying
absolved
to.
them from anything.
Well,
Yeah.
so when they do that, they're trying to differentiate. They're trying to make it sound like Jewish people, specifically Ashkenazis, they're not white. They're Jewish. They're trying to put them in as a religion and an ethnicity. But they've assimilated so much as Europeans that they are now white. So when they say, and they did finance the slave ships, that's undoubtedly, there's hundreds of proofs for that. But when they say that, they're trying to differentiate between white Europeans and Jewish people when they're really the same people. It's no different.
For that. So I want to say this, right? So I have a cousin who's really into DNA and genetics testing and all that good stuff there. And he does have Ashkenazi, that DNA there, right? So the first time Ancestry.com had a breach, a leak, that's what they were said to be looking for.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ashkenazi is just like mostly Eastern European, but European and Jewish.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's get to
Yeah, I'm just
Burger King. Are you Burger King clown? What do you have to say?
yeah. So back to the original question. I mean, do black people targeted and black hate crime laws needed? I mean, I don't think a bill would. I mean, like do any harm. You know what I'm saying? Like a hate crime bill being put forth would do any harm, but I just don't see it really doing anything to stop hate crimes. Like, bro, hate crimes happen to every race in the world, so it's like,
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, we got it.
really
We got
convicted
it.
hate crime against everybody
Okay.
that's
Your
crimes against them.
microphone is terrible, brother. It keeps going in and out, and we got it. Here's the thing: hate crimes happen to everybody. But if that's the case, why is there need? Why does there need to be any type of specific legislation for any community? If we're going with that logic, okay. And if we're going with the logic of, well, yeah, you can have a hate crime bill and everything like that, but hate crimes can still happen. Why have laws at all? How about that? Think about that. Why have laws at all? Because all laws get broken. People
We
still do
have
the things that are
to
illegal.
pander to
So if
people
that's the
that
case, hold on,
cry
don't
about
hold
shit
on,
all the
listen,
time.
listen. If that's the case, why have any laws at all? These laws are to set a, first off, number one, to set a precedent that the American population and the government condemns and will not tolerate these types of actions and behaviors. Two, it also allocates specific resources or resources specifically dedicated to preventing and punishing those types of behaviors the way they do with other communities. So if
Fair.
other people have it, then we need to have it as well too. All right.
That's a fair point. I just like also I don't get why the Democrats haven't put out a bill yet since like 95% of black people vote Democrat for years now. So I don't
Yes.
understand why they haven't put out a bill.
Yeah, and they need to be called out for that. They need to be called out.
But
But let me ask you, where are your people from?
my mom is Dominican and my dad's Cuban.
Oh, okay. That's that. Well, thank you.
I don't speak Spanish though. Like I'm practically black though, bro. Like so I don't know if that was
No, 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 no,
I don't know if
no,
that was
no, no,
good,
no. We're
but
not going to play that game. We're not. I just gave direction on Afro Latinos. Okay. So when you say
all right. So I'm
black
Afro
in the
Latino.
construct, so I gave the decorum for the room, right? And now our black, like black Americans,
Oh,
are not
brother.
Afro
Okay, your
Latino,
microphone is.
right? You have a
He just,
different
I
culture,
don't know. I
a
keep trying to
different
mute him,
ethnicity,
and his
and
microphone is
our
clicking.
the way that we are disenfranchised or discriminated against will be totally different than an Afro Latino. I'm not taking away your Africanness. But what I'm telling you is if you live in the United States, you are not basically black. To be basically black, your ancestors would have had to been in the United States of America, okay, during our enslavement era and emancipated here. If they left before emancipation, they just have African American ancestry, Black American ancestry, but they are not that group anymore. They underwent an ethnogenesis and they are where they went to. Period.
Yeah. You know, Malcolm X even spoke about that years ago. Malcolm X, he was having a debate and he spoke about that. He spoke about how Afro Latinos do not face the same level of discrimination in America that Black Americans face. Okay, so we're not gonna. Well, you know, I'm basically ain't no basically. You either are, you aren't. Okay, and look, he said it is not like that's a problem, but say what it is. Say what it is. We're not gonna pretend something that's not the truth. All right. And he kept coming off the mic, and then his mic wouldn't go off, and so he's just gotta go. So let's get to Mr. Seth.
You doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yes, I think a hate bill, is more than needed because, like, y'all already stated, two guys in Mississippi, two brothers in Mississippi, were found hung, in trees, only like like an hour or two apart, and that's just unfortunate, and it's been needed. Biden should have been. I mean, that's what the problem with the Biden administration last time, and that's why so many people were kind of, not on his bandwagon, as for Kamala Harris, getting reelected because of stuff like this. Because they'll say one thing and then they'll do another, and they totally ignore it once they get in office. Because a hate crime bill should have been passed during his administration, if not Obama administration. He knew what was going on. They still got sundown towns. They got 22 known sundown towns in Texas, and they got several in Mississippi and Alabama. It's all over nationwide, but I'm just, they, especially in the deep South. So, I never bought into, oh, those kids just hung themselves. You know what I'm saying? That never, set well with me. I'm not saying
I
it,
gotta
it never
stop
happened.
you. You're using
Huh?
every unfriendly TikTok. Like you
Oh, okay.
can't
Well, I'm
say
sorry.
HU. Like, yeah, I know it's elementary, sir, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But just to keep the live going smoothly without
Oh,
Tap,
okay.
tap
Okay.
the
Yeah.
violation.
screen, everybody.
My
Tap the
apologies.
screen. Tap the
No
screen. Tap the
problem.
screen.
My apologies. Yeah.
No problem.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think none of them unalive themselves. I just say it like that because it just that's just ignorant thinking. I think maybe the police may be involved or know some more about it and not releasing information to the families like they need to. So it's unfortunate, but I think can you say hate? The hate crime bill is very much needed. 100%, and I land my plane with that.
Yeah, that's very true.
Hmm.
That's very true. Real
Yes,
talk. Thank you.
yes,
Let's
that's
get to
behind the problem.
Denzimus. What's going on, bro?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Hope your day is good. Yeah, I definitely think we need a crime bill, but I think we need even more than a crime bill. I think we need to be a protected class on top of reparations. And most importantly, I think we need to have these officers or whoever punished. I think they need to be punished when they don't do their jobs. Okay, I feel like we also need to have these media outlets like Fox News, ABC, or whatever else that I can't remember right now. I think that they also need to be sued as well when they lie on us, because they have been one of the biggest instruments. They have been one of the biggest instruments on why we're in the situation that we're in. I will never forget when I was on the because when I think I was in high school when Mike Brown had died, and I will never forget how much they lied on that young boy. I'll never forget how they lied on Tamir Rice. I'll never forget how oh God, I forgot who that guy with name was on Fox News. It doesn't even matter, but they lie on us so much, and they need to be sued for it.
Yes, because let's
And
be honest. That's another good point. Let me hop on that. Slandering, okay, and trivializing people's deaths. You know what I'm saying? That enables
I froze.
behaviors like this.
You said the D word. Sorry.
Oh well.
All right, go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Oh man, yeah. I just
and
get scared
yes,
the live's gonna go down. Go ahead, y'all.
And yes, I do. I don't think at all that these two people, I can't say the H word, right?
I think you can.
They,
You're saying
Rudy,
this
let me
other.
say this. Whatever you're unsure of saying, spell it out. We'll get it. But you can't say
okay,
HATE. You could say the real word for that. We shouldn't go down
okay.
to
Well,
that. Yeah.
I don't want to, just in case,
Yeah.
HANG, those two men who ate, yeah. Though I don't think that those two men did that to themselves because, number one, we don't have a history of that. Number two, I don't even know how to tie a knot like that. I don't. I know we don't know how to tie no knot like that. And number three, we believe we'll go to HE double hockey stick if we do something like that to ourselves.
Mm,
And I feel like as well these. I feel like I feel like it's the police officers who definitely know about this. They have all of these cameras and everything. Because remember with the Jesse Smollett situation, all of a sudden they have these. Well, I can actually, I don't even have to say Jesse Smollett. I can tell you because I've known cops in the past and they've shown me like they have so much technology to where they can track you down and they have the cameras. They're so much better than they let on. They definitely know if something happened to those guys. So I don't believe these people at all. I feel like I don't think I believe somebody unalive these men in a very horrific way. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for now.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna have to let some more people up. Let me see. I'm gonna let JJ or SJJ Mo go ahead, and then we're gonna kind of cycle the panel through. We're gonna kind of take some people down, bring some more people up. But I appreciate that. I think this has been a pretty good informative live so far, and we're at like 14,000. We can get to about 20,000 in the next couple minutes. Let's get to about 20,000 in the next couple minutes, my brothers and my sisters. All right. So we're gonna do it. Don't worry, I ain't gonna forget about you. All right, SJJ Mo, you got it.
Yeah. Well, so I've been listening for a minute. I'm gonna kind of try to touch on everything, but one thing I don't know if anybody here is really political on their vote or if they're pretty much loyal to a specific party, but us as Black people in the history that we have with voting primarily Democrat, it's not getting anything for us. specifically when it comes to passing crimes that would basically punish anybody that would specifically target us for any hate reason. With Kamala, for example, how during her campaign run, when she was asked questions about what is she going to do specifically for Black people, and she comes out and says, "I can't do anything specific for Black people." When just 3 years ago, when those, well, I think it was like 3 to 6 Asian women were unalived on that Los Angeles highway, within 1 year, 1 year, a unanimous decision to pass an executive order for an Asian hate crime bill passed within 1 year. And for that person that says that Kamala was right, no, she wasn't. Within 1 year, they passed that executive order. And now, I don't know if you guys have been paying close attention to international news, but I think it was like last week, 250, not U.S. representatives, but basically representatives from almost, I think, 25, 50 countries all went to Israel. And now they're establishing a 50 states of Israel thing where in those meetings they were basically trying to have these countries or these people from these countries pass laws that if they scrutinize or criticize Israel in any way, they will be punished for it. They will consider it a hate crime. They will be considering it as a point to deport people. They will be considering it a point to basically say that if you criticize this country, not the people, the country, they will punish you for it. And when I see all of this, I really wonder how can people sit by and say that black people aren't doing anything to get, I mean, black people aren't doing anything to make the Democratic Party get our vote. And I agree with them, specifically the far leftist ones. I don't understand how they could possibly keep voting Democrat when they're not getting anything for their vote. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, so if anybody in here is like a registered Democrat or loyal Democrat, maybe you could explain that to me because I don't really associate with any party. I didn't even vote the last election just because of the candidates. But if anyone could let me know about that.
We do have Democrat supporters in the chat room. If you guys want to come up, we can give you guys a chance too. I appreciate that. We're gonna drop some people down, bring some people up. Let's get to my brother delineationist.
I'm glad that you're having this conversation because this is a much needed conversation. I know that I have a petition on change.org in regards to saying that we need a protection bill. One of the sisters in my organization has something on deck for that. So you guys can hit me up. Now back to the topic at hand. Black people targeted. Yes, we are. And it's not just down south that we're being targeted. We're also targeted in New York as well. There's been a recent
You got to be on your microphone. On your
yeah, there's a recent case where there's a brother that got strange fruited in New York as well. So this is a recurring from coast to coast, not just down south, it's everywhere. This is the reason why we need to have a protection bill, because in all 50 states, I bet you there's a case or some case that are similar to that as well. One of the things that are recurring that I know for a fact that the coroners or the medical examiners is tied in and complicit with the police department, right? Because it's the before the police department in some of these cases even investigate, they already saying that these individuals unalived by themselves. No different from the toxology reports that they used weaponized against our victims of our brothers and sisters that get unalive in a brutality fashion. So these are the things that I look into from an investigative type of lens that they're doing systematically as well as institutionally against our people. This is why we need a protection bill, because these are institutions. These are not just people that are doing this. These are institutions as well as structures within the institutions that are against the liberation of our people, against our people from getting justice. It's downright insane to me that they could say this without even holding an investigation, without looking into what happened or anything of that nature. But they already formed an opinion not to look into and investigate these type of situations. They're like, well, he just unalived himself. Who cares? He did it on his own. When you know it's almost physically impossible that these individuals have actually did it themselves. So that's just some of the things that I observe, that I'm very concerned about. That the legal precedent that they're operating in, it warrants a protection bill. So I want to say thank you for holding this space. Thank you for making people aware about this, because We need this. We really honestly need this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And we definitely should, especially because you got a lot going on as far as that's concerned, a petition, and you got, a think tank around the subject. So we should definitely be, informed. Yeah, I'm glad that you're keeping us informed as far as, the proper legal ways to go about this, because you're right. The fact that it's so easily dismissed shows evidence that it is foul play, that is so easily dismissed. Because if it wasn't, just by nature you would be curious and you would look to see, because naturally, like you said, this is a difficult, if even possible, feat to accomplish by yourself. All right. So just naturally, you would look into it a little bit longer before determining that this was self-inflicted. But by first glance, oh, this is self-inflicted. Okay, well, that's showing me, that's kind of giving me the impression that you're hiding something. All right. So now there needs to be an even deeper investigation with the police department, because who knows, could it have been a police officer? Uh, you know, and they have access to different security cameras and things like that as well too. Could it have been a staff member or whatever the case may be? A lot of these people are often in cahoots with each other, so we absolutely need that. Thank you for that. Zizi, do you want to add anything before we continue?
No, absolutely. I'm glad you said that though, because they could absolutely be in cahoots with each other. The police, it's 100% possible that the police is trying to cover this up because somebody in their police force was a part of this or did this directly. But it's also 100% possible that it was somebody in the school, that somebody in the school is related to somebody with a force, and then they're helping them cover up. Like, these people are very much connected, and the fact that it happened at that specific university, and I've heard that there's been incidents there before, where students are dealing with anti-black racism. So I'm like, it's too many aspects of this case where it's like it has to be further investigated, because clearly something is going on for sure.
Yes, indeed. All right. Yep. Very true. Um.
Say this, Afro. I saw the video for DeWitt, New York. At this
Mhm,
point, they said they don't have the race of the victim, right? And we're
mhm,
just going to say he's a victim, but they were saying that the height, and because it's a bridge, that they would naturally say that, right? That it was
mhm,
self-unaliving, self-deletion. I want to say this, and people may not like this comparison, but for a black person, a black American especially, to self-delete in such a manner is like a small hat going into the fume chamber.
Right.
Like, why would we do that?
Mm.
I think that it's a running narrative within the people who do it, because the same people that investigate are more than likely the ones that are committing that, right?
mhm,
And so I do remember Rasheem Carter, and I'm not going to say these people were police, but he was reporting to his mother that his cell phone was about to unalive, run out of battery, and that there was a pickup truck of white tea people. He was told to call the police. I believe he did try to call the police, but they didn't find him until maybe a month or so afterwards, and he was daggone near decapitated. And because of wildlife and stuff like that, they just can't, you know. But
mhm,
we know what happens with a pickup truck full of white tea men, and this is why I say when he said, "Oh, white tea people need the most protection," I was like, "It's laughable." If y'all didn't hear me, that statement was laughable. Not the situation, but his statement, because of the history in this country that they don't want to face. We don't unalive by that manner. Do we self unalive? Yeah, I don't think any ethnic group is immune from having some people who may self delete, but the manner is a different subject. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Especially when it's out in the public as well too. Let's
That
be
part.
honest.
Yeah.
And I said this on YouTube. Most times, if you look up this case, you can look up, there's been different documentaries and stuff like that. Most times when people do self delete, they do it in a very private setting.
Right.
Okay. They do it at home. They do it more than likely in their either bathroom or their bedroom. Okay, late at night where nobody else is in the house, because they don't want that to be interrupted. They don't want nobody to find them and then bring them back and then all of this stuff. So most cases, most people don't go outside and then find a tree to do it on. Okay, if they were to go out, if they say I want to go out that way, they would do it very, very secretly. They wouldn't make a spectacle about it in that manner. So just that alone just almost takes away from even the possibility that this could be self-inflicted.
One more instance. Around the time of Mike Brown, there were a lot of activists,
Hmm.
establishing themselves. And there was a woman, Lord, I forgot her name, but she had a son. And the son was unalived, and they said it was self-deletion. However, what happened was he went to his mother's yard, I think. They said he went to his mother's yard. That's where he was found. But I believe his pants was unbuckled and stuff like that. We do also know, right, if we know our history, that when they strange fruited some of our men, they did, there was genitalia disturbance.
Hmm.
So it's too many things pointing that the same things that happened to our ancestors during slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, all those things that we were unalived in such a manner, and they are doing some of the same things. So
Hmm.
I don't think all these things are self-deletions.
Absolutely, it's no
I
coincidence.
agree. I definitely agree.
And
I've never.
let's not forget the students either, because I know we talked about the police and the staff, but them students, they need to be looking at them damn students too, because that school is half YT. So yeah,
Right.
they need to look at them students, looking to them students too.
Mm.
That's absolutely right. So I argue that when they say can't wait until the old racists unalive out, because then racism, they taught them kids that.
Mm-hmm.
They taught- It's the young ones that's going around. They say the N word, they get in trouble, and then we forget about it. Or they have some of the Kirk, the CK viewpoints. So I think the same manner of torturing our community, harassing our community would be the same as their elders.
Yeah, that's very true.
Mm.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Let's get to Kwame.
What's up, bro?
What's good, brother?
Chilling. My fault for the background music. I'm getting some food, so they playing white people music and shit. But I definitely
I'll
agree.
tolerate it because of
Right,
you. I'm
right.
glad you explained it. Okay, now I can
My
now I
fault
can
sound
tolerate it.
crazy. I agree that we need a hate a schmate crime bill specifically for us. I actually touched on this topic. I want to ask you a question because when I did this prompt and I posed a question to people, they I know they were being deceptive, but what do you think about this? They were saying we already have a hate crime bill, a schmate crime bill. They were saying the Emmett Till thing. What do you think about that?
No, no, that's not specific enough. No, and the thing is that it happened before. What's very interesting about it is that that happened before people found a warrant for Carolyn Bryant. All right. Now, Carolyn Bryant at the time was still alive. People just didn't know where she was. She actually had changed her name legally because she got remarried. All right. But when people found her, people were looking for her, and the government hid her. All right. And they protected her. And they didn't even they didn't even enforce the warrant they had on Carolyn Bryant. Now, Carolyn Bryant is the reason we even have the situation of Emmett Till. So that whole thing is pretty much just a name on a piece of paper. That bill has not decreased any type of hate crimes. It didn't decrease the number of hate crimes. It didn't punish people for committing more hate crimes. It didn't even put more resources in preventing the hate crimes. So no, we need something specific. All right. We don't need anything symbolic. We need the specific things, almost a word for word, the same way they did with the Asian community, with the Stop Asian Hate thing. Same. We need the exact replica, and even more intense replica of that. We need a replica of that, and then they need to magnify that. Okay, intensify that for our community. All right.
For what killed me about the Emmett Till bill that allegedly protects us is what what substance is it if these people would just say we the person who got strange fruited just self unalive themselves. So it's like
Hmm.
it's not enforced. There's no way to really enforce it, or they incentivize to enforce it.
Yeah. And that's a good point. And this is why I think it's good that we have these conversations, because we have these conversations and we're showing everybody and we're letting everybody know that the way this situation played out. Now, do people take themselves? Yes, they do. We know that, and it's not just a black thing. It's not a young thing, not an old thing. Unfortunately, it happens among everybody. It's an unfortunate situation, but that's a conversation for another day. But how it happens, okay? Statistically, this is an anomaly. All right. But yet, every time we see something like this, they immediately deem this as self inflicted, done by themselves, and nobody else had any part to play in this. And by us exposing the fact that that's not realistic, that's not even really physically possible for them to do by themselves. Okay. It's not even physically possible. What we need is, if the police are not going to investigate it now because there's a hate crime and there's specific resources allocated for this, we need the federal government to step in and now investigate this situation. And let's say, for an example, let's say it is. Why do we have so many cases? Then we would need protect even if we was to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this was self-inflicted, follow me, then that would mean that the black community needs more resources for mental health, no matter how you put it. No matter how you put it, if you want to say he did it, then okay, fine. Then that means that we are facing a crisis in the community, a mental health crisis in the community where people are taking themselves. So that means that we need more resources in the community to deal with the mental health situation that we got going on, the mental health problem. So regardless of the fact, we need more resources in the community. We need more attention in the community. All right. And us having the conversation and bringing awareness and calling out lawmakers who ignore these issues is a part of the solution.
One more question.
Say this. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So you do have some questions in the comments. One is saying there were two victims. Why is only one on your screen? The other one is kind of offended by Kwame's statement of white tea people music, but I want to remind them of this. Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music. Right? So even y'all call y'all music white tea music. So let's not, do that. Pay attention, focus, because a lot of y'all need y'all comprehension brought up if y'all complaining about white tea music, the statement. When y'all have songs calling your genre white tea, white tea boy, you know. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
like
Kwame.
oh,
And
right.
y'all make shopping music, so don't do that. But I had a question for you, Afro and Z. So, do you guys think that these two strange fruitings that happened in Mississippi, and I ain't even know about the one in New York, I just heard about that. But do you guys think this is in direct retaliation for what happened to CK? Because it's always us getting blamed for
Yes.
some reason.
I suspect it. I highly suspect it, especially after the situation. There were multiple threats made towards HBCUs. You honestly couldn't convince me that it's not related. Even if they were planning on doing it, because we see stuff like this, I think that this is definitely the spark that lit the fuse. I definitely think so.
Same, absolutely. I think it's connected. I don't believe in coincidences, especially when it comes to the white tea supremacists. They're very intentional. So yeah, and they don't like taking L's. It's absolutely could be a retaliation.
All right. So thank you for that. Let's get to the press.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm well. So I'm gonna say this. I do believe that hate crime laws are needed, but I believe we need to go beyond that at this point. We can no longer be passive as a people about how we approach this. We have to stop asking for permission and start asking for forgiveness, which means that we ourselves have to start policing the people around our community. We need to invest in things for ourselves as far as learning MMA, martial arts, self defense, learning how to shoot, learning how to protect ourselves and our community. That is so important in these times at this point, because the laws aren't enough. YT people have been making laws and making government since the beginning of time. And since the beginning of time, they have been unaliving themselves as well as people who don't look like them. We have to start making some decisions as to how we want to go about this beyond just laws.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very true. There was a thing I saw somebody say this in a. There used to be a thing in the black community, and I wish we can kind of bring it back. I hope we can. It's not a wish. It's a possibility. We can and we should. There used to be a really big emphasis on like self-defense and martial arts schools and all of that. It used to be a very big emphasis on that. Whether it's martial arts, whether it's boxing, it was almost a requirement in the black community not long ago, and now we don't see as much attention being paid towards that. And we definitely need to kind of bring that back, bring that awareness back, bring that, whether we need to bring back old different like after school martial art karate programs, whatever the case may be. I understand that times have changed, so maybe legally you might have to do things a different way, but we definitely need to bring that stuff back, as well as for the to TikTok, so you got to be careful with your words, as well as the Second Amendment. We got to bring back bringing the awareness and the training of the Second Amendment. We have to bring back different maybe classes, or how to get your license, or whatever the case is, how to clean
And
a certain device, all of that.
I just wanted to say real quick, if you guys, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but globally, this is going on. This is not just here in the United States, but it's happening in Africa as well. It's France. Do you guys have you heard of Burkina Faso?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that man is standing up for his people, and as a result, they just sent Jahidi people over there to try to kill them, right? So, but he's standing up for his people. I believe that's the same thing that we're going to get over here. Like, just because I don't want you over here anymore, I don't want you in my land, now you want to take up arms against me. It's essentially the same thing here. We have to stand up for ourselves. Nobody is going to stand up for us.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Can I input this, please? So places like New York, we're not allowed to exercise our Second Amendment right, and that's something because of the New York Slave Revolt of 1712. They did not want the enslaved to carry pew-pews, and so that still is on the law today. However, I was listening like to a Twitter space, and in upstate New York, some of them people have pew-pews. Amazing, right? But you know the complexion that they are. So I believe you, Afro, when we say we should get back into martial arts and stuff. However, it depends on the type, because people who know martial arts still got beat up in the hood. And so probably that's why the focus is going off of martial arts. But I know that there's some. Have you ever seen foundational Americans fighting videos? You should really check out his page. Now that type of thing he be doing there, I can't do it, y'all. Y'all can't see me, but I'm twisting and
Thank you,
turning all
BS.
over the place. He's really good, and he's starting to go around to the inner cities and talk to the youth and stuff at this time. So Marshall will be very good to strategize if you are in places such as New York where you can't exercise your Second Amendment right.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to put that out there.
Yes, and even there needs to be protection besides the Second Amendment right, okay? Because in states where you can carry you can practice your Second Amendment right, right? There are places, there are buildings you can't bring your Second Amendment right into. You can't practice that into. If you go to a court, if you go to court or whatever the case is, you can't walk in with that in the courtroom or in the building at all. There are certain buildings, even whether that's a school or whatever the case may be, where you got to pass a metal detector so you can't have anything on you. You can't be defenseless because you can't have anything on you. So you need to find a way to adjust past that. Now, of course, there's not going to be anything that's going to be more foolproof than that itself, but you do need additional things, especially if you live in a state that has very, very, very tight restrictions on that. All right.
I live in Maryland, so
So
we have really tight restrictions here. We can't take it into any federal buildings, but you can get it. It's a long process, but you can get it. But like I said, stop asking permission. Why does it have to be legal, right? You have to protect yourself. They're not going by laws, so why are you?
Well, yeah,
uh,
but yes,
yeah, I don't
that's
want us to
true.
go to
But
jail.
let's not advocate for yeah, let's not, because we don't want the message to be that we're advocating for anything illegal. But if you
Yeah,
know, you know.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, I don't want to skip the line, am I?
All right, appreciate you, brother. Let's get to striving, then we'll get to the hammer, and then we'll get to Omega Main, whatever. She is right. She's correct. She is correct. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Sometimes you
it's
gotta
certain
be a
stuff you
little
can't
more.
say on platforms.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, what's going on, man? I want to. Kwame actually said what I was going to say in regards to. I think that the reason why a lot of these self deletions are being labeled as suicides.
you
I
can't.
mean,
You gotta
self
say.
deletions are being labeled as these strange fruitings are being labeled as self deletions. Is what I'm trying to say. Is because of that immaterial and that immaterial bill,
Mm,
and and in order to not enforce that bill, enforce that law, because that law, if I'm not mistaken, that law makes strange fruiting punishable up to like 30 years in prison. So
mm,
and I disagree with you, Fro, and like when you say that it's just a piece of paper, because that could be said about anything. I mean, they could give us a hate crime bill and then just say, and then they can start attacking us and just say, well, I don't consider it hate crime. I think that a lot of people who are victims, these victims and their families, are not being properly advised as like in regards to what legal routes to take to make sure that that their loved ones get the justice that they deserve, because once something is on paper, it's enforceable. But just like with all of the other laws that were on the books, we have to take steps to make them enforce the law. So, and I think that should be like our main focus. And I don't really think that this situation, I think it's more of a like coincidence of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 100% convinced that these things are connected to CK. I think because these things were happening to truck drivers. I remember seeing stories of truck drivers being found strange fruited across the country before that even happened to CK. These strange the uptick of these strange fruitings is from my uh how I see it, correlates to the passing of that immaterial bill.
mm.
Well,
Well,
once that bill got passed, then it was like this uptick in strange fruiting, and I'll land there.
okay, that's a fair point. I feel like that's a fair point. Now, let me reiterate what I had to say, and let me clarify what I had to say. I said it's really symbolism. I said that the bill was essentially symbolism because that happened in 2022. The bill was passed in 2022. Carolyn Bryant was found, and there was a warrant for her arrest. Carolyn Bryant is the whole reason that there was an Emmett Till. Okay, you cannot have an Emmett Till story without Carolyn Bryant, who is responsible and alive. The only person in the story who was alive at the time was still Carolyn Bryant. Okay, the reason for the whole thing, and you did not see the federal government or any local government at all go after her. So they allowed the perpetrator of the crime to get away scot-free. But they named the bill the Emmett Till Act. They named it that to give it some type of symbolic importance, but the person who caused that act got away scot-free even after the bill was signed, which shows that the bill, that they had no intention on really doing anything with the bill. It was just to gain symbolic brownie points for their political party. So that's really why I said that. Now, is it true that, of course, a lot of cases, because we have this act, that there are going to be cases that are automatically going to be deemed self harm instead of deemed what they are? They're not going to be properly investigated because of the federal act. That argument can be made. But that leads then to the fact that, well, we need an additional bill then, because if you guys are going to just deem it as self-inflicted because you guys don't want to deal with the Emmett Till Act, then now we need another bill that provides resources in real investigation of these situations then. And
Can I say
and
something
to
that's
say
bothering my
it
spirit?
might not be, we're not saying for a solid fact that it's connected to Kirk. We're not saying that, but we are recognizing a pattern. We're recognizing a pattern of threats being made, in particular towards students, after the death, after the unaliving of Kirk. I caught myself, BX. I caught myself that time. Okay.
Good. I want to say something when you finish because I want to say it now.
Yeah, I'm
After I'm
almost I'm,
sorry.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
So I mean, we're having a dialogue. So, and this is what the community needs. They need a respectful dialogue. So I do get where you're saying that a lot of it now, because they don't want to, have, get in trouble with the Emmett Till Act. A lot of them are probably deeming it that way. But if that's the case, and that might be the case, is probably that seems reasonable. If that's the case, then now we need either an amendment to the Emmett Till Act, or we need another separate bill. I think a separate bill is warranted because of that. Because if that's the case, then it would actually amplify the reason why we would need a second bill. If you really think about it, it would even further go to prove that we need a second bill, because these happen so often that they get swept under the rug. And even with the Emmett Till Act, they're even more swept under the rug. So now a second bill is incredibly necessary. All right. To even enforce the first Emmett Till Act. That's what I would say. My take on it. But BX, you want to add something?
Yes. So I kind of don't like when people come up and say, "Why do we have to go legal?" Right? And we're Black Americans, so we know what type of talking that could be, right? And how that could be taken by others. And I guess we pretty much shut that down. But I implore everybody to research their state and see what is in the legal limits of you exercising your Second Amendment right. In New York, is a very peculiar place, right? Because I have the duty to retreat. So self-defense, stand your ground, things like that won't work for me. So imagine me catching a gun charge as a black woman, um, against a white tea supremacist. Like, do I really want to risk that? Or do I want to operate within the confines that I can? You can disarm somebody with a pew pew if you see them coming. Am I correct, Marshall?
It depends on the
Hold on,
totality. It depends on the
because
totality of the circumstances. Close by, again, you have to be someone that practice that, like you eat cereal every morning. It has to be something that you don't have to think about. It's something that you move as if you move in your legs to move to walk, right? I don't like to tell people, yeah, it's 100% you can do it, and a lot of stuff you see online today, that's people that don't really never really been in combat, never really know how to the pew pew works, and how much of a fraction of literally a fraction of a second it takes before somebody pull the trigger. Like I said, you have to be an expert to really do it. I recommend If somebody's trying to rob you, give it up, live another day. But again, if you fall away, definitely your odds is you might as well just give them whatever they want, live another day, right? And not try to be a Superman, especially if you're not training all the day, every single day. That's the best bet. But yes, it can. You can do it, but again, it's something that must be trained every day, all day, and be like you, just like you eating cereal, walking.
Can I make a comment?
Here's what I want to say. I'm gonna land here. The beauty about being the type of person I am on this app, connecting with my people, whether they're in the Midwest, West Coast, or the South, is that I have people that will reach out to me. Men, when they feel a shift in their energy, and they say, "My sister." We have survivalist groups. This is the bear of what I'm telling you because I don't tell everybody everything. And they give me little strategies, hints, how to, if something happens in New York, how to get to safety with the people with pew-pews. I suggest that my Black Americans who are in strict states like me uh, research all that. Research all that. Survivalist tips. In case you got to pack up your elders, pack up your children, and get to Philly. Because Philly, you could get to your sister's house and she could protect you with her pew pew because she has the right to protect her house by any means necessary. So I just wanted to put all that out there instead of just saying why everything got to be legal. Why can't we just go illegal? We got to put a certain mind frame out there too, and that's to look into our survivalists because they're
Yeah.
trained in all of that without
Afro.
actually violating the law.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
that goes
Afro.
on
I
to what I was
love y'all.
saying.
Love
Hold
y'all
on,
for
family.
real.
Hold
I
on, family.
wanted
It's a
to
I don't want
line.
y'all in
Hold on,
jail.
family. It's a line,
respond.
Hold
family.
on, hold on,
Hold
everybody.
on, y'all. It's a line, y'all. Everybody just jumping off the mic.
Just,
It's a line.
but just that goes back to my original point. Our issue is that we need is the enforcement of the law because even with the self defense, there was a case that just happened in Michigan where a sister saw her brother getting jumped by four dudes and one of them was pistol whipping them, and then when she got the pew pew and protected her brother, they still locked her up and charged her with first degree unaliving, even though Michigan is a stand your ground state and you don't have the duty to retreat. So we have a problem with them, and regardless of whatever we get passed, it seems as though we're dealing with a government and a group of people that's just not going to enforce anything on our behalf when it comes to us. It's always like we have to do so much extra to get them to do the basic thing of enforcing the law
I
on our
think,
behalf.
if you don't mind, Afro Lee, if I just, because a lot of people think self defense. Well, I got self defense. I'm all right, but they don't understand. You really gotta read, like, and go in deep study of the self defense, right? Like, prime example, somebody can break into my house, right? I get out my pew pew. They turn around, hands up, and start running away. I pew them from the back. But it was self defense, though. No, I'm gonna go to
Yeah,
jail because I
that
pewed
does
them from the
happen.
back. I'm gonna give you another example, right? There was a gentleman that he was getting robbed at a bank, rightfully so. He peeled out his pew pew. He got one of them. He was in the right. They was on the floor. He pew pewed them into the floor. He stopped, thought about it, and then he started pew pewing again. Now, if he would have just emptied the whole clip, and then he could have said, I was afraid for my life out of terror. I emptied the clip. He'd have been fine. But the simple fact that he stopped and that moment gave him time to think about what he's going to do, they looked at that as, okay, this is premeditated. You stopped and had a chance to think about it. He was already down, and now you continued on. So again, we got to really read and understand the self defense before we just say, all right, self defense, I'm good. There's a lot of nuances to it when it comes down to self defense.
Yeah, and I'm gonna circle back to that because I do want to get to that in a second, but I want to be fair to other people's time. So I'm gonna circle back to that because that is important about just understanding that. So I'll circle back, but let me be fair to the other speakers. All right. Let's get to the hammer, and then we'll get to Omega Man.
All right, thanks. I appreciate you getting to me, and again, I love what you put online. I watch it whenever I can. But
Thank you.
yeah, I like the fact that you did bring up mental health care and the necessary resources that need to be provided to the Black community to help deal with that. because obviously a lot of us come from a class in society where mental health care is more of an issue, and since we've been getting back to the subject of these recent LYNCHINGS, I believe that another cause for these, in addition to the CK situation, guy was always talking out of his neck anyway, but in addition to that situation is this Arena Zarutska situation, which they've been trying to bombard us with. Now, we all know that's not a BLK crime or culture or anything. It's just a schizoid bum, a lone schizoid bum. And the fact that they want to hold all of us accountable because one of us went crazy, it makes zero sense. But like you said, if they are concerned about that and they want to prevent an event like that in the future, they need to provide us mental health resources so that we can deal with people that have mental illnesses like schizophrenia. And we can't forget, we all have to know, if you've read history or you're up on issues, is that their boy, the white supremacist hero, Ronald Reagan, he gutted the mental health care system in this country. He gutted the asylum system in this country. So if there's anyone they need to be pissed off about and trying to string up, would be maybe descendants of Ronald Reagan. Okay, definitely not. But again, I think that's also causing some of this. They're doing everything they can to put that out as heavily as they possibly could. And before the CK thing, that's pretty much what the YT supremacists were all over. But what we have to understand, and what we need to tell them back to their face, is that Arena Zarutska came from a violent and degenerate culture. The YT on YT violence in Ukraine has been insane for over a century. They unalived each other by the millions for both Schmittler and for Stalin. And in the past 3 years, sir, YT on YT violence in Ukraine, in her culture, has unalived hundreds of thousands of Russians and Ukrainians. So before they can pull the victim card, about Arena Zarutska, what they need to do is address the violence in their culture, before they start pulling that victim card about BLK people. So again, you bringing up mental health and the resources that we need to deal with that, brought that to my mind. And sir, I'm not going to hog the mic. I just wanted to get that out. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very important. If you want to talk about that, let's look at the situation with Jordan Neely, even on the train. He was having a mental health issue. He was having a mental health attack or a panic attack or something like that. Because he suffered and documented that he suffered from mental health problems, and there were no resources available for him to seek, for him to get help with his mental health issues. So you got all of these people who have mental health, and there are not enough resources in the community for them to get the help that they need, yet they become criminalized, and then by proxy the community becomes criminalized for some people who have mental health issues. All right, so we need the resources for that as well too, and we have to raise that issue as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what the right intended on doing by deleting the mental health care system in America was that the prisons were supposed to take the full load of it. And that's what they've done. And that's why these prison rates, exploded after the 80s, I'm sorry. And also, they helped explode crime rates in addition to, of course, Reagan and Bush one bringing in all the drugs so that they could support the Contras in Central America. But yeah.
Narcotics, brother. Just for the TikTok.
That one.
Yeah, narcotics or candy and all that fun is one of those type of words to replace that. I don't know who's next, brother. I don't. If it's me or.
It was Omega.
Okay.
Omega.
Good afternoon, man. B1.
B1.
I'm
bro.
FBA. And honestly, yeah, we do need a hate crime bill, bro. I mean, like, straight up. We are the most, affected by hate crimes, and it's not even close, the numbers, And to be honest, like, not only do we need a hate crime, but we also need like a board or committee that oversees it, from foundational Black Americans that are able to go out, because something, something similar to like the Anti-Defamation League, if
Hmm.
you kind of get my drift.
Yeah, I agree.
But, so that when we do see that type of thing, because like a lot of the hate crimes that take place with us, they're not even reported, and we still are like miles ahead of the next ethnic group. So that's pretty much all I really had to say about that, and I land my plane.
That's a good point. That's a pretty solid point. You know what I'm saying? We're and a lot of the stuff gets unreported. I mean, we see videos of hate crimes and they don't get charged with hate crimes. We see videos of Karens going off and can't they be calling the person the N word and all that stuff on camera, literally on camera. It be viral all over TikTok, all over Twitter, all over social media, and they don't get charged with hate crimes. Now if they was to do that to another group of people, that would immediately and automatically be charged with a hate crime. That would be a hate crime. Just those words would be a hate crime. All right. Now for us, I mean, you got to go through rings of fire for anything done to us to be deemed a hate crime. Oh, and the person can't survive it either. Okay, let us survive is not a hate crime. Let them tell it. So yeah, we definitely have a lot of hate crimes that are underreported, which further goes to prove that we need additional hate crime bills, laws, and then, like you said, we need our own version of the ADL, okay, to oversee and make sure that that's enforced. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's very true. Let's see.
Hold up, I didn't realize I was muted this whole time. I'm tripping. I was saying shit. I didn't realize you couldn't hear me. But right quick, that just made me think of something though. The statistics about us, our hate crimes being underreported. It also kind of makes me think about, because there was a statistic that recently came out where a black male, they said black male, the voluntarily unaliving rate is like the highest it's ever been. But when you look at it, like, it just makes me question when you see cases like this. Is like, has it risen? Because I already know that our mental health is an issue. We definitely need more resources in the community. I have family members, direct family members, men, black men specifically, that need help actively right damn now, to be honest. So I understand that is a huge part, and I understand that they don't like taking our mental health seriously, especially our men. They will let themselves drive themselves crazy before they get them help. But it does just make me question, because when you see cases like this, he's not the only one. You just told me about another brother, and there's multiple other cases, even from just this year. So I'm like, are these numbers being skewed because the police are reporting something that's not actually happening? Brothers like this, who they're saying is doing this voluntarily, and it's not actually happening like that. Is this? All I'm saying is there could be some misinformation going on. Although that's still heavily a problem. Our mental health, I'm not trying to negate that, but the fact that the unaliving rates are so high within black males specifically, for that reason, I think that stuff like this could be helping, misconstrue the numbers.
That's very true. That's a good point as well too. Because I mean, let's be honest, the whole unaliving and doing all that stuff, that's really their culture. Truth be told, is really not our culture like that. I mean, we've literally survived slavery. So you can't tell me that that's been a huge aspect of our culture. So surviving and persevering has always been a big aspect of our culture. So for us to see, and we've had situations like that. I'm not trying to dismiss or belittle or question that, but for it to be like at such an alarming rate, it's kind of peculiar. I get a hard time saying that.
Peculiar.
That word. Oh, Lord have mercy. I have a hard time saying that word. God. Okay. Messes up my whole stance. But anyway, but yeah, it's very interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
We're gonna let some people up real quick. I think Marshall, and then we'll get to Laura, and then we're gonna let some more people up.
No problem. So a few points. I think for New York, Long Island, New York, you can own a pew pew. If I'm not mistaken, I know some people in Long Island they have their pew pews and everything in regards to New York. But the city, I think we got to understand these strict pew pew laws is actually by design because it's specifically for certain areas where we're at. Let's be clear. And so that's why you'll see in upstate New York, they can hold around their pew pews and be able to, get their pew pews right out of Walmart. But in New York, like the Bronx or Brooklyn or any of these other areas, is a extensive. I mean, probably 2 to 4 years before you can get, the certain licenses and things like that to have a pew pew. And usually 9 out of 10, you have to either be a business owner or law enforcement, and or outside of that is very hard inside New York City to get it. But we have some non-lethals for people that want to protect themselves, and that's like the taser, civilian tasers. We have the OC, and I'm not talking about the little Habibi store when you go get the little $5 that little pepper spray. Those are not effective. Those are a joke. Don't waste your money. I recommend OC spray. Right, those are the ones that really do some damage, man. I mean, it locks up your throat, involuntary close your eyes, um, make your mucus gland. Again, it does a whole bunch at one time, so you can run away and get away from the aggressor that's trying to attack you. So I recommend the non-lethals like that. Um, and then I know, like BS said, I definitely the bear spray. Shout outs to Vive Lab bear spray. That's even better. That's the one. Woo-hoo. Yeah, you hit them with that one. That one is definitely gonna make them stop in the tracks. So another thing is definitely combat, right? I recommend any kind of combat if you can find a combat school somewhere in New York or these inner city areas, or if you can't, Virginia Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, the basics, so you know how to defend yourself, right? The point is not to be a super tough guy and try to beat somebody up. You want to do enough to get away, scream and yell, situational awareness, always looking around, looking to knowing how to stand, right? The interview stance when people are in front of you, having just awareness of those your space in between people, just a lot of things. Just being aware of your surroundings at night, or having a group of people, right? Because we have to defend ourselves now. Now's the time where we really kick up everything, right? Whether that's situational awareness, self-defense, owning, understanding that every war in this country was won because of us. And so we was masters at the pew pew, and it's time to get back to the range and start owning these pew pews and start learning how to defend ourselves. And really start reading the hold your ground and self-defense laws also, 'cause that's very important. This is why a lot of people going to jail, because they're not doing their due diligence and really studying and enter and understanding these laws. Another thing, I'm just trying to hit all the points. What else? It was a few points that, and I'm gonna be done. Uh, yeah, I think honestly that covers everything. That definitely the hate crime bill. We need that 100%. We definitely need that because it's been time and time again. We've been seeing people say the most vile, nasty, demonic things to us. Being a lot of things being done, and it's not considered hate crime. I'm talking about physically, and that's
Shoot,
a
bro.
problem. It's very
Shoot.
problematic.
No, talking shit.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
You
so
got
these things have been very problematic, and we got to now is the energy to start pushing that. And I think what it is, we got to lobby that, right? We got to come together and start putting our money together to lobby this and try to lobby for things like this to happen. I think that's another conversation we got to have, because we can't keep asking, hey, can you money talks. We got to call a spade a spade. We understand money talks with some of these politicians and some of these people. So we got to start putting our money together and make sure we lobby these things and put these things in place, because that's going to make people move. And I think that's one of the things. And I'm gonna land on that so other people can talk.
all right. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true, and that needs to be another conversation because quite a few issues that we need to get behind. Okay, and we can all at one time we can get them down one by one. Okay, knock them down one by one. All right, we get behind one issue, get that issue taken care of, get behind the next issue. All right, so we can have a conversation about that later on. Let's get to Laura.
Thank you for having me, brother. Yeah, be safe.
No problem, brother.
I just wanted to add my 2 cents. First, I have a question, and that is, are you all aware of the fact that we can no longer peacefully protest? Then there's no piece of paper that's going to help us And yes, but hitting them in their wallet is where we're going to do better. We have people from every nationality in on the movement called Black Out the System. We need to start there because all these other things, and I've heard they're very intelligent speakers with a lot of knowledge. But that knowledge is irrelevant right now. Right now. So I just wanted to say we have to do something better and different because we know we're always the underdog. We know that. But let's jump in on Black Out the System and anything else we can do, boycotting everywhere we can because they don't listen until the numbers go down.
Okay, can you
Thank
express
you.
just real quick, for the people who might not know, what is the Black Out the System movement?
The Black Out the System movement is not shopping, not spending any money anywhere. We've been on the first phase since the 16th and it goes through the 20th. You don't buy gas, you don't buy food, you don't buy anything. And then in October, we'll have a second phase. So it's universal, it's national, not universal, it's national. And everybody needs to get in on it. Because you know yourself, in the day when we did boycott, we got results.
Okay.
And so that's what that is. Thank you.
No, real quick though, what is the what is the call to? Well, we get the call to action. Let me say that. What is the demand from the movement?
The demand is for them to listen to us, to listen to our demands. And those are everything you guys have been speaking on here since I've been on the live. Those are our demands. We want our rights back. We don't want to be stripped of our everything. We don't want to be stripped of anything because we've come too far. We've fought too hard. Our ancestors fought too hard, gave up too much for us to be here now. We don't want them taking anything else from us.
Okay then. All right. Well, I'm gonna look into that. I don't know too much about it. Heard
Please
about it,
do.
but I don't know too much. But so I'm not gonna give too much of a statement on that as of right now. But let me ask you about just this situation as far as the prompt is concerned. What do you think about the situation as far as the prompt is concerned and us being targeted, particularly black people being targeted, and us needing a hate crime bill for protection?
That's exactly what I'm saying. We are being targeted. If
Mm-hmm.
you notice, they're going one by one by one. They're picking them off. They're starting at the head. They're starting with men, and they're trying to make the numbers of us smaller and smaller because these are targets and they are a pressure point for us to get into action. But this is not the time for us to jump into action. There's a time for everything. Our action needs to be among us, our planning. You see what I'm saying? Being ready in whatever way we can be ready in case the day comes. But this is what all these young men are targets. They've been targeted and there are more targets out there. They're just not aware of who they are. So I would caution young men, be careful, be safe, travel in large groups if you have to travel at all. But by all means, watch your back.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get back to my brother delineationist.
I want to chime in on a couple of points, right? The self defense. The reason why we as a culture backed away from it is because of registering our hands, right? I was at the time frame. think I had a red belt in Taekwondo, right below for a black belt. Some of the reasons why I didn't even go past a certain point was because I didn't want to legally register my hands. And because if you were to strike somebody, right, hypothetically, you could be they'll look at your hands as a lethal weapon, and they implemented those during the 60s and 70s. Shout out to my man Jim Kelly, real OG when it comes to that martial arts skills. So those were some of my inspirations coming up as like when I was in my 20s. The other thing, and I want to at least circle back around to that because I don't think we understand the reasons why we backed away from the martial arts situation was because of the registering of the hands and the officers targeting our brothers and sisters that did have that type of special training to put them in jail, too as well. And there was a whole lot of, you'll see that in some of the black exploitation movies and stuff like that when we were coming up. And they kind of talk about some of that type of situation that was going on, or they tell stories around that. The other thing is the insurance situation. The reason why they're saying that they're self-unaliving is so that the family won't collect insurance off of their deaths, off their unalivings, I meant. So that's one of the things that they keep saying, that they strange fruited themselves, instead of saying that this was a crime that was done against them, that got them to lose their life, if you get what I mean. So that's one of the things that people are not, so the family are not even getting justice in regards, so that they can get a proper burial for their loved ones. So that's real deep stuff. Like that was one of the things I did want to touch upon. The other one too, if people want to know about the history about the pew pews, y'all need to holler at me about the book called Negroes What Pew Pews. It goes into about the deacons in defense and the different things of that nature. I got that book. It's a classic book. Dr. Randy Short has talked about that on several different platforms. Get familiar with that, OG. He has really laid down his game on that. And that's what, like, the deacons of defense, these are people who have specialized in that type of situation. And they have certain reasons why they went about certain ways when we have these type of situations in hardware. It's knowing when and how and to move when you have these type of things. So I just want to just highlight some historical things, especially when it comes to that 2A. Oh, the other thing I wanted to touch upon is that you got to look at these NAACPers, right? And I'm glad that y'all running that campaign to tell them to lose their tax exempt, right? See, they'll protect every other right, but they won't protect our self-defense and our 2A rights. And one of the things that I say is this: if you don't protect all our rights, then you're not standing for all our rights. You can't pick and choose what rights you want to defend. If you want to defend our people, you fully defend them at all costs. Mm-hmm. But you don't pick and choose our rights, because you end up neglecting all our rights as a default. So if that's what kind of happens when the NAACP, the urban leaguers, do not pick up the self-defense case, like in Ozone and other ones where our brothers and sisters were righteous, they actually lead them to their own demise, which puts us at a very bad situation as a people. So that's just one of the things I just wanted to highlight, to kind of bring the severity of what's going on with it when it comes to 2A and stuff of that, and also self-defense, because I'm a big fan of the hand-to-hand type of situation back in the day. So that was some of the reasons why I backed away after a certain period. So just wanted to acknowledge those things.
Those are some pretty good points. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that does actually give a lot of clarity as to why we kind of faded away from the martial arts and stuff like that, because that is true, that you do have to, when you reach a certain level of skill, whether that's martial arts or boxing, even, you do have to register your hands. So even if a situation pops off, if you punch somebody, karate chop somebody, whatever the case is, they will literally say that that's like using a weapon, bringing a weapon to an unarmed fight. So yeah, that is very true. So that's good that you brought that up. So in cases that you can still learn to defend yourself, but like you said, that you stopped at a certain point before you had to register. So I think that that's probably the ballpark that I think the community should really be trying to target. You don't want a whole bunch of people out there with registered weapons, and then a situation pops off, and then now they got a bunch of legal things on them because they're registered, even if it was self-defense. It makes it more complicated. So having the range where you can protect yourself, you don't got to be the next Bruce Lee, but having a range where you can protect yourself if a situation does occur, but you're not like a karate master, I think is a good range for the community in general.
I also want to chime in for one thing. Self-defense circles. One thing, when I was living in the state of Connecticut, my mentor, that was one of the things that is even off the grid when it comes to exploring about self-defense. Us as a community going to the park, 20 to 40 deep. You see the Hebrew brothers, shout out to the Hebrew Israelites, holding it down. That's how you have to kind of move with those type of things. So they won't even know the depth of your knowledge, and then you train amongst yourselves with the skill set that you may need. So those are things that I've done in real time and things that I'm aware about with my mentors and stuff like that when I was out where because when it came to protesting and different things, people like to take advantage of other people. And I'll just leave it like that. So that was some of the things that we were doing prior to us doing a protest or stuff like that. So we were aware and how to move accordingly in these type of situations. So that's one of my suggestions. Y'all can do what y'all will with that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Let's get to Levon. Levon.
Yeah, I hear you, Afro. Afro.
Yeah, yeah, you got it, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's a sexual infatuation with us. Like I'm telling you, it's like I've been on TikTok a little bit right now. I just got on here. I'm just looking around. It's a sexual infatuation with us, and it's a demeanor like they want to control, like a pet. Like they want to control us, and they want to dominate us sexually, and like they want to eat us also. Like it's some weird shit going on with these people. I'm talking about the YTs. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I've been watching you for a while, bro. About 5 years since COVID, and this shit has got weirder and weirder and weirder. The Charlie Kirk situation, he has been an asshole from the beginning. We know that. Who cares if he dies or not? They mad because we're not paying attention to them. Everybody in the world wants Black American FBA attention. It's something wrong with these people. Like they want, we stand off by ourselves, right? And they still want our attention. We cannot acknowledge anything. We could be over here playing a game, bullshit looking in the sky. They still want our attention. And that's the problem. Why do they want our attention? We have to understand that they want our attention because they know who we are. Their parents has taught them who we are. They know it. They know we're stronger, faster. We look better. We're more sexually attractive. You can see it. We all see it. We need to stop trying to cater to them and get with it. Like, no, we run this planet. We know we do. We see it. We have been seeing it for the last 6 months. Remember when before what's his name? Trump got inaugurated. All the Africans were saying, you niggas, I'm not black. Then all of a sudden, when we told them who they were and who we were, now the conversation has changed. It doesn't make any sense. Like all of a sudden, 6 months later or 7 months later, the conversation has changed from Mexicans, from Iranians, Ukrainians, everybody in the world, they're on our nuts. And we're just trying to be off to the side and mind our own business. And it's getting infuriating. Like they're hanging us every week because of Charlie Kirk. It's not because of anything else. They're mad because their own people did it. We know that. We know who were they mad at. They mad at us just for no reason because we're the best. If you're the best, then you're going to have the most, they're going to love you and they're going to hate you at the same time. We, as Black Americans, we got to understand that. We are who we say we are. You see what I'm saying? We are who we say we are, Afro. I've been watching you for a long time. You, Tariq, and Black Alpha Network. I watch y'all every 2 days, Wednesdays and Thursdays, like it's football, bro. So I know what's going on.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, man. It's getting weird now. Now we have to stick together and protect ourselves. Family members, y'all can't hold old grudges about some old shit you did 7 years ago or your cousin did. It's time for us to stick together because we can see what's going on. They hanging us weekly after this dude got killed. I done seen more hangers in the last week than anything, bro. Come on. They been hanging us.
Yeah,
they getting us by ourselves like they do. Because I stayed in Utah. I stayed in Utah for 4 years. So can't nobody tell me about a nigga being by themselves. Can't nobody on this planet tell me about nigga being by themselves. I stayed in Salt Lake, Utah. And I've been to Idaho. So can't nobody tell me about a nigga being the only nigga in the world. So it's an infatuation, bro. They only way they can survive is off they are vampiric. And you said this before, Afro. They are vampiric, bro. That's what it is. So we have to get ourselves together as a community and stay away from them. Don't even engage in their conversations. Once we stop engaging, then there is nothing to, because they want our energy. We are the most energetic people on this planet. We have all the soul. So we stop engaging with them, and that will hurt them even more. You dig? So I'll land my plane right there, bro. I love you, Afro. I stay watching.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. And
Appreciate you.
everybody else, FBA, B1 for life.
E1, bro. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. They have this very parasitic relationship with us, and it's getting real desperate. And you're literally in real time, you're seeing the fragility spew out from them when it comes to things like that. All of this, the overreaching when it comes to censorship, the overreacting when it comes to trying to get their lick back, all of this is their fragility spewing out. All right. So this is very true. And this is what we're seeing. I want us to understand what is going on at this time. So that's very correct. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. We're going to get to Mary and then Zaprez, sorry.
Thank you for letting me up. I wanted to just comment on the situation with Mr. Reed. I'm not sure if you're aware of the Black Conservative Federation. They are what I like to call the head coon nation. I think they've been out. They were started by Byron, the guy he's like a Panamanian and something else. He's one of the representatives in Florida. So that's his organization. They released a statement yesterday saying that in the wake of the incident, they have formally requested that the U.S. Department of Justice conduct a full and thorough investigation to ensure no foul play was involved. The reason why I bring that up is it makes me very, very concerned in general. I know we've been like taking our pauses, like taking a break from everything that's going on. But for somebody who is, like I said, the head of the Coon Nation, that literally they don't support anything that has to do with Black people. They are a Black organization that goes and agrees with everything that Trump says from even before he was elected. And there is nothing that I've seen them do that particularly would help or assist Black Americans. I feel like for them to release a statement like that they're concerned. And that concerns me, because they're not a part of us in a way, in my opinion. So it's kind of like, I don't know it feels like I'm not sure if we're prepared for what's really going on right now. If we have people who don't even align with us being concerned. And I don't know if you heard about did you hear about the song that just came out about lynching?
No.
Okay. So there's an artist called JJ Longhorn. He released a song, and I just wanted to just read a snippet of the lyrics real quick. It says, "We need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town." Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the song, and it just came out like 3 days ago. So we already know who these people are, which I was really happy that they've been showing the ASS for these past couple of months, because I'm so tired of people not knowing that these people don't like us, and they just don't. That's all they spend their time doing. But this is, to me, a different level when you are hanging people from trees. You are writing songs openly saying you're basically a racist. So it's just very concerning.
Yeah.
And I land.
True. I'm gonna have to look into that. It is concerning. These are concerning times right now. All right. They're losing power, and they're not going to be quiet about it. Okay. Zizi, everything okay?
Immediately would have go look that shit up. Egregious. This is absolutely egregious. Outrageous, everything between. Okay. Egregious. It's a little white T boy and it's a country white T boy. His name is What she say his name was? JJ
JJ
Longhorn.
Longhorn and Forgiato Blow.
The sad thing is how they had to use our culture to make the music.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's
yeah, because they
rapping.
rapping. They rapping too. MAGA rapper and country singer. So it's a collab. It's a MAGA rapper and a country singer. Made an anthem. Yeah, that's absolutely egregious. Diabolical.
What's the name of the song?
Hold on, I'm about to send it to you. I'm about to DM it to you on Twitter.
I
Okay.
think it's good versus evil.
While Ziggy does that, Brian Donald is the Jamaican Panamanian who said he will not push for reparations because his people wouldn't get it, but he never spoke negatively about CARICOM. For him to be concerned, I understand why Mary is at alert. I'm wondering if it's an apology tour for the pushback that he received. Not saying that he can't be concerned, but since it goes against his nature, could it be that we've been saying we're not voting for these immigrants if they're not going to be advocating for us too? So he's one who openly opposed reparations for foundational Black Americans.
And you know this.
It's possible.
I definitely think this song and songs like this. 'Cause I just seen another egregious song too that came out a little while ago. It wasn't necessarily about this sort of way of unaliving, but just as anti-black. I think you're starting to see a part of the reason why we're starting to see a rise in these what you call is this type of rhetoric overtly as I think these people are pandering to the comfort of the dominant society. You know, this makes them feel like we're going back to old times. This is everything's going to be good again. They're going to go back to their place. They're going to be back on the fields. I think this reminds them of a time where they felt more empowered. So I think that's what a big part of this is them pandering to that side of them. You know, them pandering to that nostalgia that they feel when they hear shit like this. It's a weird stuff.
Rhapsody.
You shouldn't be able to do that though. You shouldn't even be allowed to even say something like that. Let me go create. I can't even say a comment about a person who made negative comments about black people and several other groups, and you can go create a song about, putting people up trees. You know.
Yeah. Let us make let us. There's a hold on, brother.
You might play it?
Is muted. Brother.
Because if those lyrics
Yeah, you gotta.
I've seen lives come down off of Ti lyrics. So if those lyrics are worse, and they are worse than Ti, I don't want to take the chance of the live going down the
Yeah,
lane.
definitely don't play it.
Yeah.
Why is my mute is not working at all? I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's egregious. I just listened to it and stuff. Yeah, really bad.
I'm also gonna to say this. Yeah, they want that to be open. This is something that we've all known. We saw coming for a long time. They want this to come back where everything's blatant and open and unapologetic again and all that. It is cause for concern, but I don't want us to be afraid because a lot of this stuff, a lot of they talk, but a lot they need the system to back them up. Let's never forget.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember the whole try that in a small town didn't age that well, did it? They did the same thing. They went in front of a church where a black person was unalived, and they was all like, yeah, try that in a small town. Yeah, you ain't gonna come over here with that. And we see that in age that well. So a lot of them, they're big talkers, which is why they need the system to back them up. All right. So let's not panic, but let's understand that if they're saying this stuff publicly, this is really kind of like a call to arms. So, because a few of them will say it publicly, but a lot of them will get the message. All right. So we got to understand kind of what they're doing. They're trying to normalize this type of talk because they want to normalize that type of behavior again. All right. So we got to be very, very cautious about that.
And, a part of that, even though I do feel like it shouldn't be a part of freedom of speech, but a part of that, I don't mind. Because, hey, I'd rather take the wolf than the sheep and wolf skin. Or the wolf and sheepskin. I'd rather take the wolf. So let me know where you stand.
I wanted to add that this is the same Jason Aldean whose fans were shot up by another YT nut with a gun. So more white on white crime.
that he's not concerned with. Clearly, y'all never concerned with y'all own people's situation. Y'all never concerned with that. That's very interesting. Let's get back to Zaprez.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that if we go about things in a legal way, we just need to be more strategic about what it is that we're asking from these people, right? And when I say that, I mean things that we know we can get past. Like if they're so gung ho about the Second Amendment, okay, then we need to be like in a state like New York, we need to be asking for those laws for those laws to be loosened so that you can have the right to bear arms. We need to be asking who it is that we need to find out who our allies are, right? Up there. And those are the people that we need to get very close to and figure out how we can proceed forward. We just need to be very strategic.
We only have one ally. One ally. One ally. For as diverse as they say New York City is, for as much as they say we're all together, for as much as they say it ain't like that here, and in New York we all get along, we have one ally who's willing to push legislation for us, right? They asked, not for the pew-pew thing, but for like reparations and everything that comes with it, all the 5 pillars. And the report is out of 100, right? At first it was 50, now it's 100. Out of 100, some didn't answer. Some said they don't know who's going to do it if they don't get a piece of anything we're asking for. And one says, you know what? I got your back. So.
Okay, I get that. So what about on a federal level? Do we have any allies federally?
Check with the Freedmen Project and get back to you.
Okay, so maybe we need to target federal allies, people that we can get to loosen some of these Second Amendment laws so that we have the right to bear arms, so that we don't have to register our hands. We need to find allies just to support us as far as getting funds into our community to push the what we're trying to see happen in the world. Like we have to do something, but like I said earlier, we got to stop asking for permission, right? We got to start just asking for forgiveness because they're not going to give us anything. We have to take it. And I'm going to leave that at that.
That's true. I second that. I definitely do. We do. That.
I think he got a phone call.
Yep. Got a call.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We can't start wrapping things up. We can start wrapping things up in a little bit. So I'll allow everybody. I think this was pretty good, and we gotta. Let me see if we have anybody in the queue. No, so that's good. So we'll get to people's final takes. We'll allow everybody to kind of give like a last take. Give everybody a good minute if they want to add anything else. If you don't, that's fine. So let's start off. We'll start off. I guess we'll start off with Omega because I think you were the last to speak. Well, we haven't heard you, and then we'll go with Omega. Then we'll go with Hammer, Levon, Delineationist, Mary, LaPrez, and then we'll do it like that, zigzag like that.
Zaprez? I think it's Zaprez or Zaprez?
It's Zaprez.
Okay.
Get it right.
Go ahead.
Omega?
All right. Yeah, I just appreciate the panel, man. I think it's a good discussion. I think it's very constructive, which we always want to be under the system of white supremacy, because you're either going to be constructive or non-constructive.
Yes.
Outside of that, man, B1, you guys have a great day. Thank you for the opportunity to speak, and I already follow you on YouTube, so this is my first time catching the live. I appreciate the panel. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And I appreciate your take, and I appreciate your support on YouTube as well too. All right, let's get to the Hammer.
All right. It was addressed a couple times in the speech. So since we're finalizing, since we're summing up, I just want to say, exercise your 2A rights. Most of us don't live in areas where you can't own a pew pew. Get it, get trained in it. More importantly, and you maybe even consider taking a course that's beyond. I'm shooting at a piece of paper that's sitting still. So think about that. Also, there are black veterans like myself. I'm retired Navy, but they were sending Navy into the desert too during this, and I'm air quoting here, war on terror. So seek them out. We're here to help, and that's all I want to say.
Thank you,
Thank you.
man. Thank you for your service too. Appreciate that. All right. Let's get to Levon.
Yeah, bro. I'm just telling my people to stick together, and we have to watch what's going on. Watch the enemy, and then we'll be just fine. Cause I believe that we're on the right path. And I see most brothers don't say we stick together, but they ain't on the code. I see we stick together more than anything because I seen how much power we have as a unit. So be one first, and Afro, I'll be watching you in a minute, man.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's get to delineationists, my brother. You got it.
Thank you for allowing me to speak on this topic. I love this topic personally in the guise of just self defense, stuff of that nature. I always think it's something that's very sacred, very important. We need to be implementing it more now than ever. There are a lot of good brothers and sisters that are out there that do know them. Reach out to them, like especially a reasonable veteran, just like my man Hammer. Salute to you, brother. Thank you for your service. There's a lot of good brothers and sisters that are veterans that do know the type of stuff that we need to know. Don't hesitate. We got loved ones that served. Reach out and tap into them. Reach and tap in with a lot of other brothers and sisters that are in the 2A community, the boxing, the self-defense community. Reach into them, see what they know. Sometimes you don't have to go to the ring to throw a jab, if you get what I mean. So just holler at them. They'll holler back. They really do, and because they love the craft. If they really love the craft, they teach it. So just pull them aside, and they'll show you what you need to know. That would be some of my friendly suggestions. And make sure you stay on your toes and stop wearing those Crocs, for crying out loud. I'm just telling you, be war ready. Mm-hmm. Stop wearing them Crocs. Stop buying them Crocs for your children. Get them some sneakers or some boots. It's on that type of time.
Thank you. That's true. Yeah, that's very true. We got to make sure that even with the clothes that we wear, when you're wearing certain clothes, you can be your clothes can be a liability. Okay? When you're outside. If you got to run, if you got to fight, if somebody's grabbing you and your clothes is coming off or your clothes is too tight for you to move, your clothes can be a liability on you. All right? Let's get to Mary.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, I feel like we need to stay aware of what's going on, like stay awake and just be prepared for whatever may be coming in the future. My energy is a little low right now, but thank you for letting me up.
Thank you. Thank you. We do need to be aware. Okay. Know what's coming up, and make predictions and prepare for those predictions. All right. Let's get to, you said Zaprez, right? Am I right?
It's Zypress. I got you.
Okay.
So I just want to say that to end it is we need to get in community again, get amongst our folks. Everybody has something to teach that we can learn, something that can be helpful in that time because we don't know what's coming next. Everybody needs to stay alert, right? We all need to stay informed, not just about what's going on here, but around the world, right? And again, like, be safe out here, pay attention, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, right? Because if you got to get ready, it's going to be too late.
That's true. And right now, I mean, a situation can pop off. We already have situations popping off. So if you have not been getting ready, now is the time to get ready. Okay. You might not be able to do everything all at once, but you can do something now. So everybody needs to be doing something now.
Also, get bug out bags. I don't know if everybody has their little survival kits ready, but go ahead and start making your little bug out bags and put everything you need in them just in case you got to leave in a hurry.
Yeah, very true. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I hate to sound like a tether, but we can't all fight. Some of y'all might want to get a passport or at least have one as an option.
I hate to sound like a tether. I appreciate yeah. We'll send our elderly and sick, you know what I'm saying? Send them off until we handle our business.
Yes, sir. And the kids.
Oh yeah, and the kids. All right.
These supremacists love targeting the kids, so that's all.
Hey, that's true. That's true. All right.
I don't know. One more thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know you're trying to close, but did see where they said they're going to start stopping us from traveling, right? With the passport, they put that bill. They introduced that possible bill where if you are criticizing is
I
not
did,
real.
yeah.
So it's
I've
going to
seen
get
that.
that serious, y'all.
You
So
said
please
criticizing
go.
Israel?
Yes, if you criticizing, they introduced a bill. It hasn't passed yet, but if you're criticizing is not real, they have the right to withhold your passport from traveling. So we've never had that before.
Wow.
So imagine if they're doing that for that, what other things they may have next. So just be prepared.
Oh damn. Deep state ain't so deep no more, huh? Them niggas right at the surface. We can't travel. They grade us. Oh yeah. My black ass gonna be right here then. Cause I got plenty of criticism for 'em.
We gotta look into that, and I have seen that, but we do have to look into that. So we gotta be aware. And this administration passing a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff being passed recently that's publicized and then under the table. We got to know all of it. All right. If you guys want to listen to the playback of this and many other stuff, many other good lives, many other good conversations, podcast episodes, all of that stuff, go to For the Culture on YouTube. All right. For the Culture on YouTube. All right. You also can follow me and Zizi on our own individual YouTube pages. You can find that linked in For the Culture when you go to For the Culture. You can also find that when you follow us on TikTok, and then the links to that is in our bios, as well as our other social media. All right. It's really good. That page, that channel is really good. Our page, our channel is really good. You guys gotta go there. It's a lot of game. I'm premiering something tonight on my channel as well too. There's also a premiere going on For the Culture right now as we're live right now. That's how much we're doing it. Okay, that's how we roll. Okay, For the Culture popping on YouTube and on TikTok at the same time. That's how we roll. So you guys definitely got to make sure y'all follow on here so you guys can partake in the conversation, and then go to YouTube so you guys get to enjoy the conversation with the family on YouTube. All right. So, and thank you all. Thank you all for the gifts and everything as well too. Zizi, do you have any final statements?
Yes, final thoughts, final statement. Very egregious situation that we're looking at right now. We definitely have to keep our eyes on it to see how it unfolds. I do like the fact that we touched on, preparing and making sure we're staying trained and staying fit, even looking into different legislation. So yeah, I think we touched on a lot of good points here that we all need to at least somewhat do our parts of, do our due diligence in, trying to attain some of these points for ourselves. Okay, even if you're not going to do it for somebody else, if you're not into politics and things of that nature, at least take your ass home to the gym. At least get your ass. What does she call it? A bug out package. That's the first I think I heard somebody say it to us, reference it like that. But get a bug out package. Get, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things. Get you a pew pew. You can at least be focusing on, even if you're not going to do all things. Okay, so for sure we do have to protect ourselves, so we have to practice self-preservation. But also we do have to, we have to be honest. We got to look at this for what it is and for what it could be, because we can't put anything past these white supremacists. They are very diabolical, and usually 3-4 steps ahead. So I'm sure the things that we're thinking about now, they've already thought about 3-4 times over, so yeah, we got to pay attention. I don't believe in coincidences. We gotta understand how they play the game, because they do like to retaliate. And I meant to touch on this earlier, I forgot. Let me just that terminology, retaliation, is only used because that's how the white supremacists look at it. This is not the fact that a brother is passed out of this and that happened to Charlie Kirk. That had nothing to do with us. So a retaliation would mean that we had to do something to them and they're doing something back. We didn't do anything. We never did anything to these people. We never do. It doesn't take for us to do anything to them. All it takes for them is to feel like we could. And they have to double down on their wickedness to show to boast their power. It's kind of reminds me of that scene from 300. I don't know if y'all seen that, but at the end when the brother, I'm not the brother, but the dude threw the spear through the guy's nose and it like made his nose bleed. And they was trying to say he was a guy, but that whole the symbology of that is similar to what happened with Charlie Kirk. So they felt like even though we didn't necessarily do anything, that imagery being put out there, they have to retaliate. They have to retaliate and show us otherwise, that we will never attain that sort of power. So yeah, just look at it for what it is. Don't put them past these white supremacists and stay prepared. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. BX, please close us out.
So you now have to ask you, Afro, when is the next time you will be going live on TikTok?
Next time. I don't know. I got some stuff to do tomorrow, so I don't know if I'll have any time tomorrow. I might have some time Sunday, during the day. I might have some time Sunday during the day.
I could do during the day.
Sunday's our parade.
You said what?
I don't
That's
stay.
your parade? Oh man, okay.
Yeah, but listen, I don't stay out long. My youngest son is going with me. I just want to feel the energy of my people. Then I'll be feeling the energy right back in my house. I do not do too much in New York, y'all. But yeah. So Sunday is our parade. I'm gonna ask everybody who's still in the room, if you are in the New York City area, even if you're in one of the tri-states and you have access to the car or the bus and you want to come over, you could Google it really, but I believe the hours are from 11 to 4. Come with your flags, your FBA merch. I got mine from Afro Elite, so got me a nice little shirt. I want to say I hope to see y'all there, or hope to see the videos and the pictures if you do go, right? I'm going to go snap mine, say hi to the people, get the energy, go back home. But I want to say for the most part, this live was beautiful. Beautiful. I may not have agreed with everything, but it was respectfully discussed either in the chat or on the panel. I liked this vibe, and the time frame was nice, cute. I could decompress and go to class. I'm glad you brought up the thing about knowing about all bills, right? Hey, I love everyone. So I found the bill, Afro. I'm gonna put the link and stuff in your inbox before the night's over. The bill is for reparations. It was introduced in January of 2025. I think a resolution came down in March, but it hasn't advanced since then. The bill is for reparations, and it does state the Caribbean and some other folks that we wouldn't push for slavery. Because somebody sent me I asked them to look it up. They read the bills, what was concerning, and they sent me the screenshot. So I'm gonna read them and they give you my insight in your inbox, and we could talk about that. Because I just found it in doing my article, which is at the editors. So hopefully that'll be released soon, and I'll send you the link for that. I want to say thank you to everybody who made this live beautiful, who shared, gifted, and showed support. I love y'all for real. Peace, love, light, and reparations. Be sure to follow the host so you could come back the next time we go live and partake in the discussion.
Well, thank you. You all have a good rest of your night. All right. Y'all be safe, family.
Okay. You won.